Perfect. So I almost already know who I am. This is the first time that I'm actually taking stage in my own networking group in 3 years. So when I was thinking about what I should present, I really wanted to add huge value. And I decided that I'd just go to my mission statement. I want to help people and businesses grow. The stats on business failure are anywhere between 50 and 80% within 5 years and 96% within 10 years. So I want to do my bit to help the people that I care about become the top 4%. So I thought today I'd share with you some ideas that you might be able to implement in your business. So for those of you who don't know me, I wanted to be a millionaire from about the age of 10. I studied business studies all through school and I got a degree in entrepreneurship. I had my first business when I was 24, 25, 26. And in 2006, it was employing 10 people before it went bust. My second business fizzled out in 2010. But you know what they say, fall down 7, get up 8, and that is the mark of a true entrepreneur. And I will continue to fail and fall until I truly succeed. I've learned loads of painful but interesting lessons along the way. And I've learned to develop some success habits, and I've created a love and a passion for personal development. So I'm now a business and life coach. And I work with my wife, Sarah, who kind of runs the show. And we work on lots of goals, and one of which is to create a business that works without us. And that's the kind of mission I have with all of the clients that I work with as well. So over the last 25 years, I've learned a lot about business, but here are 10 of the key points that I think should help most of you in one way or another. As entrepreneurs, we share a number of important qualities: passion, resilience, capability to spot opportunities, being comfortable with risk. But perhaps the most important influence on success is confidence. Our confidence allows us to approach a stranger with an idea, effectively pitch or negotiate terms. I've been really low on confidence in the past, but I've learned that confidence grows like a muscle. Little by little, when you don't give in to the status quo, when you demand a little bit more of yourself, when you choose discipline and consistency over habit and the easy road, your confidence will grow. And if your confidence grows, your business will grow. So I built my confidence with the help of a book called The Miracle Morning, which you'll see on the screen. It was literally my game changer book. It gave me the motivation to exercise, practice gratefulness, visualize success, do affirmations. It literally changed my life. And you might be fortunate enough that you don't need any more confidence. It's oozing out of you, and that's great. But if you do need some more confidence, I'd encourage you to read that book. And I would also ask, what would you do if you had a little bit more confidence? If we want to grow our business, we must work on our confidence. If I were to poll the room, I reckon that most of us would agree that planning and goal setting is a vital business skill. But I bet that those of us that agree, a really small number would actually admit to spending time doing it on a daily, weekly, monthly, or even yearly basis. The truth is, guys, it's not the plan that's important, it's the act of planning. Planning forces you to ask what, how, why, when, where questions. They help with clarity, they help with focus, but most importantly, they help with motivation. A survey in the States some time ago indicated that people who regularly set goals earn a little over double those that don't. Just think about that and let that resonate. Those that set goals earn double that those that don't. If you regularly plan and set goals, then that's great. But if you don't, and you really do want to grow your business, I would encourage you to slow down and decide what it is that you really want to achieve. Set some goals for the business and think about and complete a plan for how you want to achieve them. If you want some help, read the 7 Strategies of Wealth and Happiness by Jim Rohn, or come to one of our workshops, because that's what we teach people. In his book, Atomic Habits, James Clear explains the science behind gamification. As humans, basically we like to keep score. Michael touched on it earlier on. The numbers motivate us to push ourselves harder and make improvements where necessary. Think of it as trying to lose weight. When we set ourselves a target that we're going to lose some weight, those scales are our friend. And you'll see the weight slowly start to tick off, and it gives us the motivation to keep going even when things get hard. In any big business that you might have worked for, KPIs will have had a pivotal role to play in that big business, but they're often overlooked by us little guys. But I'll guarantee you that once you start measuring some of the simple numbers in your business regularly, you'll really want to see them improve. So some of the stuff that we encourage our clients to track are cash in the bank, number of new leads coming into the business, new customers, new sales. Make it a game, track the numbers and watch them improve. If you really want to grow your business, know your numbers. We've all got the same 168 hours in our week, but there are people, the people that grow their businesses are the ones that are fanatical about their 168. In the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey talks about time being allocated in one of 4 ways, in 4 quadrants. And he says that the second quadrant in the top right is where we want to spend our time. Quadrant 2 is the important stuff that's not urgent. It's things like planning, goal setting, meeting with strategic partners. It's working on your business, not working in it. In my experience, the best way to make sure that you're working in quadrant 2 is to create a default diary. There's a link to download it in the slide. And I didn't actually say that I've actually put together a 18-page ebook of this presentation, which I'll share with you at the end. So you don't need to write all of the links down because I've got links that go off to it. There are a couple other things that I should cover quickly in improving your time management. The Pomodoro technique, if you've not heard about it, look it up. Basically, it's a way of time chunking time, get rid of all distractions and focus on the thing that you need to do for 25 minutes. And then binaural beats, I've found them really helpful to me. It's basically a type of music that plays on 2 different frequencies at the same time, and it can help you with focus or sleeping or lots of different things. There are different frequencies that you can go for. Avatars. Success in marketing happens when you hit the 3 R's. The right person with the right message at the right time. Lorna talked about it in her 60 seconds. Creating some clearly defined customer avatars will take you a lot closer to generating leads that close and help you grow your business. At a simple level, an avatar is a made-up character with demographic information, like things like age, sex, job title, location. And for each avatar, you really want to get down in the nitty-gritty and think about their goals, their pain points, their needs and desires, and their objections. Once you've got information like that, it makes it much, much easier to target the right people with the right message and make sure that what you say hits the spot. Strategic partners, they're everywhere. From the biggest multinationals like McDonald's working with Coke, to the smallest businesses who choose to work together for a shared benefit. At its simplest level, a strategic partnership is merely an agreement between two people with broadly similar client bases. The best strategic partners when you have shared values, goals, and customers, but critically, most of the time, they're non-competing business owners. So think about the virtual assistant and the business coach. Think about the bank manager and the accountant, the architect and the builder, or the graphic designer and the web developer. They're going after the same people, but they're providing different services. When you start thinking about the opportunities for your business to create strategic partners, you should be able to think about 5 or 10 different industries that actually could align as a strategic partner and strategic fit. If you really want to grow your business, invest some time in finding some of those non-competing business owners that can refer business to you. Make Google love you. 92% of all web traffic goes through Google. So if you're not doing your very best to get Google to love you, you're missing a trick. Far and away, the most simple way to ensure that Google loves you is to create a Google My Business page. Arguably much cheaper and simpler to set up than a new web page, but an absolute essential. There are a couple of things with your Google My Business page. It should be updated, and you should be looking to generate lots and lots and lots of beautiful client reviews. The first thing that people look for is the number of star ratings. It's in our system now, that social proof. You know, you have them in Amazon and TripAdvisor and all of that stuff. So it goes without saying that the more 5-star or high-star reviews that you can get, the better it will be. But believe it or not, Google put more emphasis on the actual review than they do on the star rating. So they're looking for, when you write a review, they're looking to make sure that the reviews actually tally up with what your website and Google My Business says about you. And they will give more weighting to a company with 10 5-star reviews and 10 really, really thorough, well-written reviews than a business with 40 5-star reviews that say amazing, awesome, fantastic. So think about getting them combined rather than separately. It goes without saying that content is king, and you need to be continually developing content if you want Google to love you. And the last thing I'll say on making Google love you, John and Jamie both covered it in recent talks, so I'm not going to dwell on it, but you really do need to make sure that your website is mobile friendly, because Google is now actively hemorrhaging the performance of non-mobile friendly websites, because I think 60% of all searches are now done through mobile, which is mad. So here's the first idea that's actually going to cost you a bit of money, but in my experience, it's well worth it. One of my favorite books of 2020 was Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller. In his book, he talks about the fundamental elements of a landing page, and I would highly encourage you to read it if you want to increase your conversion. Now, according to Donald Miller, he uses something called the grunt test, which is essentially, if you were to show your website to a caveman, would they be able to, within the first 10 seconds, be able to grunt out what you do? So he says, forget all of the fancy text and lots of words. It needs to be uber clear and concise what you do when people first land. If it's not, it takes up too much brain energy and they'll bounce. He also says that you need to create some really clearly defined and unambiguous calls to action. And he says that the way that we read websites, we start in the top left, and then we go to the top right, and then we go diagonally down the page and then across again. And he says the most relevant and important pieces of real estate on your website are your home landing page in the top right hand corner where you must have a call to action, and in the middle of the screen where you must have a call to action. So if yours doesn't, I would encourage you to revisit that. There's an amazing quote by Terry Pratchett that says, if cats looked like frogs, we'd realise what horrible little bastards they are. Design, that's what's important. And I just love it. And it goes without saying, guys, that a picture tells 1,000 words. And if your website is too text heavy and it doesn't have the pictures and images that you want, that people demand, you're going to be missing the trick. So if you want to grow your business, consider improving the structure of your homepage. Work on your existing customers, because it costs on average 5 times more to find a new one than it does to gain. It takes on average 5 times more to gain a new customer than it does to retain an existing one. So your customers are actually one of your greatest assets. I've got 3 ideas that I want to share with you for customers. The first I've kind of talked about already, it's referrals. If you're happy with the client that you're working with, if they pay you on time, if they pay you well, if they're fun to work with, tell them and ask them whether they know anyone else like them who might benefit from your service. If nothing else comes of it, you will plant a seed, and at some point further down the line, they will know that you're actively looking. If you don't, you're missing a trick. Upselling. This is a true story. Imagine that you're an IT company and you happen to sell periphery services like phones and the like, and you've been working with a client for 10 years. And one day the client calls you up and says, we're getting a new phone system installed. And you go, but we do phone systems, why have you gone somewhere else? And they turn around and they say, well, I never knew you did phone systems, you're our IT guy. How would you feel? The reality is that happens all the time. So what I encourage my clients to always do is a magic matrix. And it's a really simple document. You put the number of your clients down one side and you put the products or services that you offer across the top. And then you work down the list and you say, Graham, he takes this from me, doesn't take this, this, and this. Steve, he takes this from me, doesn't take this and this. And very quickly, you will see opportunities for yourself to have conversations at the least. And almost certainly, you will find an opportunity to upsell. The last thing I want to say makes people scream sometimes, and that's putting your prices up. When was the last time that you did it? It's scary. And for most business owners, they think, well, what if they leave? What if I'm not good enough? What if they refuse? What if they go and look at my competitors? But what if they just accepted it? The reality is that you, me, and everyone on this call are paying more for the stuff this year that we buy than we did last year. And if you've been working with a client for 2, 3, 5, 10 years and haven't put your prices up, the chances are, if they were to go, whoa, hang on a minute, I'm going to go and look at the competitors, they'd find that your competitors are charging a bigger price. So at the very least, start looking at what your competitors are charging and benchmark yourself. And if you've already got a relationship where people know you, like you, trust you, they know your service, they appreciate what you do, they might be open to a conversation about your prices going up. Automate, automate, automate. I've become a big, big fan of this one. If you've been coming to networking in for a while, you'll know that I used to hate with a passion how poor the experience was for some people. I used to spend so long sending the same emails to different people, and I'd get really, really frustrated when someone had already registered and then they'd get sent a second invite by mistake or a second chance to book, and then I'd get an email saying, I'm already booked, and I'd go, damn. It used to make my blood boil. I hated that experience. Repetitive tasks are a must, but they're also a massive ball ache of a job. So I started looking around for a system to help, and I stumbled upon ActiveCampaign. Sarah's now basically automated our customer journey so that when you booked on, you were sent an automatic email with the joining details. When you didn't book on, but we think you should, you were sent another automated email that says, hey, we'd really love you to come back. It's a massive time saver, but more importantly, it's a much better experience for you. So what are the small ball ache jobs that you could automate? Because if you want to grow your business, it makes sense to automate some of the stuff that you're doing. And finally, the bonus idea, because I couldn't get rid of it because I love it. Think about the number of emails that you receive on an average day or week. And think about the number of those emails that never actually make it to your eyeballs because you go delete, 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 delete. And then think about the time that that poor salesman or marketeer spent actually writing that for you to just delete it. Now think about the time when you last received a handwritten anything in the post. Did you open it and read it? If good marketing's about the right message to the right person at the right time, snail mail could be the secret to getting you through the clutter and to the decision maker. It works for us, Sarah and I, all the time. It works for most of my clients, and it could work for you too. So that's it. That's my 10-ish ideas to help you grow your business for free, almost. If you found it interesting, you can download the ebook, all of the tips and URLs that I talked about. I love coming up with ideas. And if you want to talk about ideas for your business, please do book a one-to-one. Onwards and upwards, my friends.